G'day fishers, welcome back. Friday Fish Report time. How good is the weather this week? Sensational, actually warmed up. You'd almost get a suntan if you're out there fishing this week. And I tell you what, the fishing heated up this week. Port Stephens was absolutely going off this week. Some unusual fishing as well. We'll get to that in a minute. But the flatties in the bay starting to really take shape now. Water temp up to about 20 degrees, 19, 20 degrees. So really taking shape, and it'll only get better from now on in as that water temperature climbs. So those warmer days during the week have certainly jumped up the temperature in the bay by a couple of degrees, which is good to see. So really, really good news. Now the weather, just quickly, I think nor'westers on Saturday, but Sunday looks the pick of the day so far, gauging on the weather. So Saturday's not too bad with those nor'westers, still fishable, but Sunday looks like the better day at the moment anyway. So recapping on the bay, plenty of flatties about. The boys on touring tides. Last week I mentioned obviously that the duo tide minnow was using the 175 actually, and we just got a shipment in as quick as it came in. The 140s and 175s as quick as they went out. We've got a few left on the wall there, but not many. Doing the trick, like I said, the touring tide boys managed to get into some really nice flatties, releasing some fish around that 70 centimetre mark, so doing well there. So some good flatties about on the flats at the moment if you're keen on doing that. With that water temperature there, slowly, look, they'll spark up even more, I think, over the next few weeks. But I think with the tides at the moment, a little bit bigger tides with the new moon, I think those flats fishing is going to be a little bit tougher on the weekend, but definitely worth the go. So flatties are about, water is clearing. Tilligary Creek will start to fish really well. That slime weed's still up there, but I think it'll start to fish pretty well up towards Tilligary. I think around that Finnegan's Island, over towards Lemon Tree, all up through there will fish pretty well at the moment. So definitely worth a shot. Getting up to Tilligary this weekend if you want to put the boat in and having a look around there. If you want to have a walk around Taylor's Beach, might be worth having a look at the flats through there at the moment. So flatties through there, through Soldiers Point, back over to North Arm Cove as well. Some nice fish over towards North Arm Cove. So definitely worth getting the lures out for the flatties. A couple of dewies around at the moment, some smaller dew around, lots of small dew around, less than like say 40 centimetres. So plenty of little fellas about in the shallows there. A few bream anglers tangling with those, throwing lures for bream. And speaking of bream, Brenton Roston sent me a photo of an absolute cracking bream. I haven't seen one like this for a while, especially caught on a lure. 49 centimetres, absolute beauty. So well done to Brent, an absolute cracker of a fish, 49 centimetre brim. So some good ones still out there if you're prepared to go and search for them, that's for sure. So a few brim around the rock walls at the moment. The Mac Tunas, yes, Mac Tunas are still in the bay. No evidence of longtails at the moment, definitely Mac Tunas. Colsey once again smacked him during the week. Did a session, caught 5 spitting, really, really small top waters. So tiny little top waters. I know those little molossies will work really well. So something a little bit different. So little molossies will work pretty well on those Mac Tunas at the moment. They're feeding on small bait, but those little top waters did the trick. So definitely worth a look at the Mac Tunas inside the bay at the moment. Now, land-based fishermen, definitely worth a go for flatties around Nelson Bay Beach through to Little Beach, Corlette. I sent a customer up to Corlette during the week, got a nice fish, 65 centimetres. He was wrapped. So some flatties about the lower half of the estuary, but you just have to put your time in for them. Those low light periods, we've got some good tides, incoming tides, early morning, late afternoon, so worth a shot for that this weekend. Breakwell at Nelson Bay, well, still some brim there, still some ludrick there, but some kings there as well. If you're keen on chasing those kingies, they're about. Apparently the little wharf down near the trawlers there, the kids waiting for the scraps to go in. The kings are coming in there and annihilating them around the pylons. So you can try for a king down there if you wish. So that's the bay in a nutshell at the moment, looking pretty good. Beaches and rocks, some drummer about. Pete got some drummer there, got into some drummer action there around Boat Harbour. So still good enough to go and fish for drummer, although the swell this week, there hasn't been much swell at all. It's pretty well no swell, but you can still give it a crack with those tides. It is good tides for drummer and brim and stuff like that off the rocks. Definitely worth a go there. be worth throwing a few plastics around, I think, for a few reds this week off the rocks. So there's some good ones being caught offshore. I think it'll be worth a shot for a few reds off the rocks, definitely, if you're throwing some soft plastics. Also, the beaches, lots of salmon around on the beaches at the moment. Loads of salmon, which is good to see, actually. I know the Spit at Fingal has been holding a big school of salmon. It's been moving through around the corner and then into Fingal Bay itself. So lots of salmon up that way. Be worth throwing some metal slugs up on the beach at the moment. So, and Berubia will be worth fishing this weekend. If it's a nor'wester, Berubia fishes pretty well. Just watch out. There's a few little fins down that way harassing a few salmon. It is that time of year where the salmon schools get on the beaches. And there's plenty of predators in behind them at the moment. Now, moving on to the offshore. This is where it's been bizarre this week. So we'll begin with snapper. Some cracking snapper caught this week. George sent me a photo yesterday. Absolute beauty. Caught on a Squid Trex. So the Squid Trex is doing pretty well there on the reds. So plenty of good reds around at the moment. He caught that fish in deeper water, 40 metres. And so it'd be worth a look up towards seals. I know there's been some good kings up there. So I know some guys that caught some smaller reds, kilo fish, and some big kings coming up and harassing those snapper as they bring them up. So there are some good kings up that way at the moment if you're prepared to go stick baiting. For a few kings over Edith, outer Edith, inner Edith, places like that. At the moment, I think it'd be worth around Broughton having a stick bait around there as well. Bonito are about, believe it or not, so plenty of bonito in the washes. I know the front of Little Isle, if you want to troll through there, and also the front of Fingal, there's plenty of bonito through there. And big schools of salmon as well. I know the inside of Fingal, northern side of Fingal, I should say, it's been a big school of salmon through there if you want to have a bit of fun on the salmon at the moment. Some good snapper down off Boat Harbour this week, so if you're keen to fish down towards Boat Harbour, some good snapper down there, and those tides are perfect for fishing down there this weekend, so worth a shot on the snapper. Now, speaking of bizarre, so, just quickly, I believe Fisheries may be putting the FAD in the next coming week, so keep an eye on that. We'll keep you posted on that one. But speaking of bizarre, so I spoke about striped marlin last week. I heard whispers of striped marlin, especially up towards the north. Well, a few boys got out there for the first weekend, the Newcastle Port Stephens Game Fishing Club summer season. And I tell you what, got a surprise out on the shelf there. Begin with the Liddell boys, I should say. Young Lucas Liddell tagging his first striped marlin, 10-year-old, so doing really well there. Finney boys, I think they caught 3 striped marlin over the weekend, including one really nice fish, 80 kilos on 10 kilo. And also I spoke to Maddie and also Dave. They went 3 from 5 on striped marlin. So bizarre this time of year, September. You do get them, I reckon, Port Stephens all year round fishery for striped marlin, but to see that kind of numbers this time of year is pretty cool. So if you're keen to get out there, altimetry looks okay. Water temperature 19, 21 degrees, but also looking at the current. Don't know if Rip Charts is lying, but it looks like the current picked up again on Rim Charts when I had a look this morning. But you just got to go and have a crack and have a look at it out there. If anything to go by, I know a couple of boats out of Port Macquarie and Hat Head had double-digit days during the week and last weekend, so 7 to 10 fish up that way. So those fish have got to swim. Hopefully they swim down sea towards Port Stephens. So if you're keen on giving it a crack, I think Sunday will be the go. Lots of bait on the shelf apparently, so want a live bait, want to skip bait. I think if you skip bait around with a couple of teasers out, I think you'll find that you'll get those pack attacks on striped marlin, which we don't hear of this time of year, but go and make the most of it. I won't be. I'd love to because I love my marlin fishing, but I'm going to wait a little while, see how we go. Anyway, that's it for the Fishery Report this week. It's a big one again because the fishing's good. Get out there, get amongst it.